Hi, what's up? I'm not in frame, and I intend to do nothing about it. Because I'm already comfortable. Like my camera's just pointed in the wrong place, but it's like a wall-mounted TV, and there's a webcam sitting on top of it, and I don't want to fucking get up. Because this whole thing takes like 5 minutes to set up. It doesn't look like a lot. But it takes a bit because I'm sitting on a bed, and everything shakes around, and it takes a minute. Now I'm gonna play music in the background, non-copyrightable because it's Mozart. Because I got fans going on. Now normally I would just close the door so you can't hear the fans. But this little fucker busted the door open, so now I need to have music because she wants attention. I'm sorry, did I offend you? How awfully rude of me. Now, hi, what's going on? My name is Fletcher. I don't know if I've ever said that in prior videos, but that's my name, Fletcher. And a little lower energy today, mostly because it's 1:30 in the morning, and I am tired. Just got off a long shift, and then I loitered at work for 2 hours because my coworkers are cool, and I wanted to talk to them. So I'm here to tell you guys. I'm here to rant. Fuck it. If you watch it, you watch it. If you don't, whatever. I don't get paid for this. This is just something I do for fun. And I just wanted to tell you about shit that I got going on. Mostly D&D. This is D&D. I'm telling you about D&D. Dungeons and Dragons. If you don't like D&D, hey, guess what? This video is not for you. Leave. Go on. Alright, now that those fucking narcs are gone, let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons. I got 2 campaigns, right? And when those are done, I'm going to have 2 campaigns, because I'm planning the next ones now. That way, when they're done, we could immediately start the next one next week. We play Mondays and Tuesdays, right? And I've been recording the Tuesday sessions, not since the beginning, which drives me crazy. I should have been doing it, but I didn't have a good mic. And you know what's funny is everyone tells me that I shouldn't have gotten this mic, but it's really fucking good, and it works. It's fine. It's not like I'm trying to be a voice actor. I mean, I am, but it's not like I'll get hired for anything, so, whatever. This is Lily, by the way. It turns out I don't know how to spell, because everyone spells Lily, the name, Lily, but it looks too short to me. So I named her Lily, Lilly, and every single person I know named Lily fucking hates me for doing that. So let me tell you about the 2 campaigns I got going on now, and then I'll tell you about my ideas for the next ones. One of which is already really fleshed out because the campaign that it's planned for is going to be ending in a few months, so I want to make sure that one's good to go, ready to rock, so we're fleshing that one out. The other one's probably not going to end for like a year, so the ideas are a little more loosey-goosey. And also, I'll tell you about some of the homebrew stuff I do. So, one thing that I'm doing, Monday campaign, right? The Monday campaign is interesting. It started out, I don't like DMing combat super often. I like doing combat, but I'm not good at balancing it just yet. I've been DMing for a year. You'd think I'd be better, but I'm not. And I'm here. Let me just get rid of that little fucking. There we go. I had a chat head up. Someone messaged me on Messenger. So I had this idea for a campaign where Medusas, because I love Medusa, so much. And I play Magic the Gathering, and there the species is called Gorgons. But in D&D, Gorgons are like fucking metal bulls or whatever, and it's metal bullshit is what it is. So I had this idea that Medusas would be the main villains. So what I did was I had one, Abacus. She was enslaved by a mind flayer who then granted her some intelligence so she could help him with what he needed, and she immediately turned on him, petrifying him, and then learning all sorts of crazy magic and sharing her intelligence with all other Medusas, because it's a species in D&D. It's not just one. You can make it just one, but it's not. You'd be wrong and stupid and bad. So I made a species of much smarter than normal spellcasting Medusas. And their plan is to infiltrate the government through every single country. And I have fantasy Europe. They're all just plunked together, one map, different countries. Each country has maybe 10 cities. So country is a strong term for how small these areas are, but they're still pretty sizable, They're supposed to be states, but I like the idea of them all being independent countries better. And that's what I'm doing for the next campaign as well. I'm taking the political intrigue and really jumping to the next level in the next campaign for the Monday group. So all of the party members, let me tell you about the history. No, let me finish telling you about the villain's plan. God, ADD, man. So the villain's plan is to body snatch important peoples in politics, different officials, people who can vote for shit, and then pass laws that make all monstrous races, every single one of them, viewed equivalently in the law as humanoid races. Medusas are still hunted for their heads, even though they have intelligence, they have self-awareness. That is viewed as immoral, and I get that. However, they also would like to take Oni, who eat children, and all sorts of genuinely monstrous monsters who are just evil in D&D terms, and give them the same rights as every human. And the argument that the players put forward is if they had the same rights, they would still go to jail because they murdered. It's yes, but considering how many of them do that, jails would be filled in an instant, and then we'd be overflowing with that. It's not something we could just do, and people would lose faith in their government because they just went, hey, what's up? Here's a creature that eats children for fun, not even for sustenance, just for fun. And that guy's your neighbor. Have fun. Lock your doors, I guess. It won't matter because he's a fucking 10-foot tall giant who can just break it down and shapeshifts and can kidnap your kids because he could shapeshift into you. It's a thing that can happen. And that's their plan. And it's you can fully understand why they're going for what they're going for. But it's a little more complicated than their solution allows. This is crooked, actually. Hold on. No, other way. No. There we go. I gotta put something here. I'm looking here fully. So when I'm oh, that's on my left. No, it isn't. There it is. I gotta put something here. I have an ace flag that might fit here. It might be too big. But the main thing is this is my bed, and I don't want to put a flag there because it'd be low hanging, and when I roll in my sleep, I might tear it down. I don't want to tear the flag. Not important. Moving on. So, baby, where are you going? This is very intense music for me petting my cat. I just got Mozart's Requiem playing because it's good. Fuck you. So that's the villain's plan. Now, all of the players started out playing lichens, different variations of them, and I gave different unique boosts to each kind of lichen. So, if you were a werewolf, or any variation of a were-dog of any kind, you'd get an extra 10 feet of movement. Because dogs are fast. If you were a were-rat, you would have danger sense. That kind of shit. And what we ended up with was 2 were-foxes, almost 3, and I said no. I'm no, two's too many. I want y'all to be unique. And then they were almost a were-ferret. That would have been cool. And they landed on were-bat. And I gave them blind sense because echolocation. They forgot about it. They also forgot they could turn into a bat, which was very funny. They forgot about it for I want to say 10 sessions. And so I just reminded them, you could turn into a bat, right? And they're since when? I'm the whole fucking time. Jeez. Their character's name is Shift, so I don't want to say the person's name. I'm geez, Shift, pay attention, Shift. Give me a moment. Fuck. So they, oh, right. A werebat, a were panda who has, to this day, still, whole year later, still never gone into full panda form in front of anybody. They've done it twice, I think, and not in front of anybody. Drives me crazy. And oh, there was one more. It was a hellhound. That's what it was. It was a hellhound. So like a were hellhound, which is interesting. And then that's 4, right? No, that's 5. Okay, yeah, no, I got everybody. And their goal, they went to a party because the wife of one of the important political people was like, hey, my husband's weird. You know, he's being weird. Come to this party and see if you can figure out what the fuck's going on. And they uncover the plot, and this whole thing's been going on for like a year. And they're like, okay, here are the different countries that are voting weird. Go investigate them. Not all of them are voting weird because of the fucking Medusas. Only some of them are being influenced by the Medusas. You know? They went for the big one first, and now they're starting other places. One of them, Gilargo. I'm using the map of Eberron for the record. So if you want to look it up, do it. I wrote my own history. I did not care about the history that Eberron has. I'm sure it's very interesting. I'm sure it's very cool. I read that there was a big war, and I'm like, neat. I'll do my own war. It lasted forever. It's called the Immortal War because it was a war between elves and dragons, 2 immortal creatures. And it ended 1,000 years ago, and half of my players think it's called the 1,000-Year War because it ended 1,000 years ago. It's called the Immortal War. There's a difference. It lasted for a lot longer than 1,000 years. But anyways, that's in the past. So Gilargo is one of the places that's voting weird, and it's because the entire country is fucking enslaved by essentially the god of the mind flayers, Deern, who, so long as he's in Gilargo, like a fucking... Essentially, he has like a fungus-like thing. Everyone in there is his brain puppet. Super interesting shit. And that's why it's voting weird, because the guy who's in charge, Deern isn't like the president. He's just actually in charge. The president is a guy that looks like a human and is piloted by a goldfish. That's the guy. He has terrible memory. He's a fucking idiot. That's the leader. So that's why they vote weird, is because Deern makes all the decisions, and the ones that he doesn't are made by a fish. Bye, Lily, who opened my door to hang out and then left after 12 minutes, and is the whole reason I have to play music right now, because I love my cat, but fuck. They slammed that door open, too. They were, like, clawing at underneath and then just pulled it open. I didn't latch it closed for that specific reason, because I knew that she'd be tearing up the fucking carpet. I'd rather her open it than ruin the carpet, you know? Anyways, moving on. So, that's Gilargo. There's another one that was voting super weird, right? Thrain. I think it was Thrain. And it's because they're a cult that worships the god Lady Morrow, right? Their real name is Lady Ilmaro, but if you say the full name, she smites you. And it's a different crazy thing each time. And I've had a few players do it, and I have punished them for it. It's like, buddy, you said the thing. You said the thing. Some people instantly die. I roll a D100. They could have had to make a new character. You broke the rules. She will punish you for it. You don't get to say her name unless she grants you exclusive permission to do that. So this is interesting stuff. So they are a huge cult that worships a lich god, right? Or lich goddess, technically. And it's a living lich. She found out that she absorbs the powers and abilities and strengths of any creature that she eats the heart of. She was a normal person during the Immortal War, and she started eating the hearts of people around her, mostly because she was trapped in a cell and started eating, like, to survive because she wasn't being fed. And when she ate the heart, she gained the spells of the sorcerer that she was eating, allowing her to free herself. Realizing what she did, she started just killing people around her so she could gain all of their strength, killed a dragon, ate a dragon, and all of a sudden had insane powers for a single person to have. She had all of the fucking strength and abilities of a dragon. After a while, she became a god. But only technically. She had her own domain, but it was small. Each god has their own domain. If you have a pantheon, you share one domain. So like Mount Olympus, would be one large domain for all of the gods for the same pantheon. That's my idea for it, right? So she is worshipped by these people, but the thing is she doesn't communicate with them. You know? She communicates with like a few specific people. And that's it. And this whole country is being led by an insane pope who was granted immortality by Lady Morrow a while ago. And has been, like, zealotly, if you don't worship Lady Morrow correctly, we're gonna wipe you the fuck out. That's Thrain. They're voting weird because they're trying to get more military power so they can invade all the other countries and do a crusade and force their religion. That was the first place the parties went to. They had concentration camps because it was illegal to have any kind of magic that wasn't blessed to you by Lady Morrow. So sorcerers were allowed, and clerics and paladins were allowed. All other kinds of magic were not. So there were concentration camps where they were killing them. Only to find out that they weren't killing all of the wizards. They were killing all of the wizards except illusion wizards. They were keeping them trying to solve this incredible enigma on how to create, essentially do conjuration magic through illusion magic. So you can create an illusion of anything and then make it real. Instead of conjuring a real demon, you can make an illusion of any creature of your imagination and then make it real. It's the enigma that illusion mages have had for centuries. And so this pope, who, as it turns out, was an illusion wizard, and would conjure up visions of Lady Morrow so real, everyone thought that he was like the voice of her. He was literally the voice of the goddess. I'm going really in depth because Thrain was a lot of fun. It was the first thing we did, and it was the most fun. Well, it wasn't the most fun, but it was the longest they spent in one time, so I had more time to flesh out that area because they spent a lot more time there. Now they're just stronger, so things don't take them as long. They don't need to build up an army to fight the Pope. They could just go and kick the Pope's door down and fucking kill him. They're only like level 10 or 11 now, and they're so strong right now, dude. And it's because I've given them like unique magical items, and I get it. It's my fault. I get it. But that's part of the reason I don't like combat, because I'm not good at balancing it. I'm like, here's a really cool idea, and they're like, yeah, that's an awesome idea, because it makes them crazy strong. Anyways, it's fine. It's still really fun, and I'm still able to challenge them. I have to give the villains absurd amounts of HP and normal damage dealing, because the players are just pumping out crazy damage every time. You know, they're doing insane damage all the fucking time. It doesn't matter. That rambly mess. So I mentioned 2 countries, right? Those 2 countries were voting differently. There's a ton that are voting weird. Some are because of the skin dimension, which is an unrelated hostile force. It's an entire dimension made of skin. And I'm not going to elaborate on it. That's its whole own thing, baby. They did kind of deal with it, but we're not done with that yet. They made a peace treaty, but we're not done with that yet. They have not seen the last of the skin dimension. Bye again, Lily. Goodbye again. She came in for a visit and then left. So my other campaign, right? Cowboys and Dragons. That's Tuesdays. Takes place in the Wild, Wild West. This one's super fun, right? So, Cowboys and Dragons started out as silly, goofy, fun campaign. We had the most players I've ever had. We had 6 players. And me. So 7 people in a call at the same time. The other one is, only 1 less, but it felt way different. You know what I mean? Mostly because I had my own character. And the reason why, not as so much of a self-insert, it's because I wanted to invite the players to DM. Like, I create the world and a general running campaign narrative. But if you guys want to make a one-off, you can. And then you're the DM, and then I'll have a character to play. That didn't end up happening, not because, anything specific. It's just, it's been a few months, and we've never done that. None of them have DM'd yet, so I got rid of my guy. They had an NPC follower anyways now. They didn't when I planned it, but they do now. His name's Kront Kelp. So here's the idea. All right, Wild West. They play a race of tabaxis. Everybody plays tabaxis because they're a family. They're all related. Last name Dream. And they were all raised in a bunker. They aren't allowed to leave the bunker. Slowly they were allowed to leave, but only to go to the town nearby to get money so that you can help the family get food and water that they need to stay in the bunker. You can only leave if you have a disguise, because tabaxis are nearly extinct. Someone hunted them to near extinction. So the family built a bunker, and now it's just 2 parents and like 30 kids. And then one day, the parents say, hey, we need you guys to help populate the tabaxi race. So get busy, brothers and sisters. So the party went all like, no. How about no? That's a bad time. I'm going to yawn. God, I'm so tired. The party all just fucking left. Anyway, absolutely not. No, thank you. And they booked it. The Wild West is fucking wild. It is dangerous. I've added a lot of shit. Shit that I started adding, like small bits and pieces, not super plot relevant, in the other campaign, are now big pieces of this one. So a reoccurring villain that I have in the other campaign is a main villain in the Cowboys and Dragons. His name is the Crooked Smile. He's a tall man, 8 foot tall. Wears a white pinstripe suit, gold stripes, a gold tie. He has no eyes, no nose, no hair, but a smile that goes all the way up here, full of crooked, jagged teeth, a big, ridiculous mustache, and a top hat. He's a deal maker. He'll ask you, what is your bliss? And you tell him what it is you desire. And he'll try and give it to you. Oh, you're scared of a tiefling. I understand. Well, what if I were to give you this knife? If you touch a tiefling with this knife, it will instantly kill them. Send them to another dimension, so their soul cannot be resurrected, permanently ending their existence. And all I ask is 1 copper piece. And then you find out the knife does that to tieflings, but it does something to every single race. Different thing. That's not what I ended up doing with that, but that's like the basic idea. Sometimes once he's established, he can make more specific deals. He's like, oh, you would like to save your sister? I can do that. In exchange, I'm going to need you to do this for me. And he has a lot more clear motivations. Starts out by giving you fucking monkey's paw deals, only asking for 1 penny, and then at the end, you realize he wants a little more. That's how he is in the other campaign. And he's a lot worse in Cowboys and Dragons. So he shows up in the Dream. I made a whole dimension called the Dream, right? And this is in every campaign I'm ever going to do. is the dream. The dream is an ocean of pink clouds. And each cloud is somebody's dream. If you're able to go into the dream, the dimension, then you're able to enter every single person's dream and manipulate it as you see fit. You can't read their mind or anything, but you might be able to manipulate their dream to let them reveal something about themselves, right? So the smile exists in the dream and visits people temporarily. He cannot make true, full physical manifestations until he does some crazy nonsense, right? So he visits the Tabaxi family, the dreams. In the dream, it's a plot thing. I do a whole thing with it. And he goes up, introduces himself, and offers each of them something interesting. The very first one he meets is Briar. Only 16-year-old, the youngest, little trans girl. Yeah, one of the characters is playing a trans character. It's really... Sorry, one of the players is playing a trans character. It's really fucking cool. Briar's like one of my favorite characters I've ever, like, had in a campaign. Because they're just, like, a really, like, fleshed out, unique character. I mean, I love everybody's characters. It's just, it feels really cool having them react to situations. You know, I want to put more situations in there just to see how the character reacts. And I got a character like that in the other campaign, too. You know, I got two in the other campaign like that. But Briar is like, man, so cool. I like Briar a lot. That's not the point. It's good that the DM likes one of their characters' players. Otherwise, it's one of their players' characters. Otherwise, it's weird. Anyways, he just shows Briar a giraffe, an animal they've never seen, and he asks for a copper piece. And he turns it into a little copper giraffe. Just like, here, you can hold on to that. Question. Do you mind if I make deals with your entire family? And innocent little 16-year-old Briar said, sure. And he made really specific deals with the family. Of course, they still had to consent. He can't force you. You have to consent to it. That's the thing. Some family members didn't make a deal at all. He tricked one of them, but they have to agree in some way or another, not necessarily verbally. That's how he tricked them. So what he did is he went into one specific one, Day of Dream. They're a necromancer. They're dead, technically. They got better, but they're an undead. They're an undead tabaxi. And their dream, he's like, hey, how would you like to be more powerful? I could get you this. And he makes a black book appear. Follow the instructions in here, and you could become the most powerful necromancer wizard of all time, also known as a lich. This will become your new spellbook. And they like this guy. They're like, hell yeah. You weren't grossed out by the fact I'm dead? Hell yeah, dude. They're a really naive character. And it's cool. The player will admit it. And he's like, all I ask in return is for one favor. And I can cash in later. Now they made an amendment. The player said, well, so long as it's a favor that doesn't hurt my family. And he's like, of course. A favor that won't hurt your family. And they shake on it. Now, as they go along through this, they've gained more power. And they've had to do a lot of dark shit because of this. And he's stuck around. He's grooming them because they're naive. The other players are like, whoa, fuck this guy. But that character and the player are both like, oh, the player's not tricked. But they're playing the character as tricked. You know? Because the player kind of likes the smile too. They keep saying, my bestie! It's great. He's got so many devious machinations. And sometimes he'll just give you stuff for free to earn your favor. Make you like him a little more. And then later on, he'll force you to make deals. He's like, you've been a pain in my ass. So he'll grab your astral self and throw you into the dream and make you live through a nightmare for 8 hours and say, I can keep doing that. Or you can make 3 deals. You gotta make them. You're not leaving this dream until you make 3 deals. It's like, yeah, you have to... Lily... like, yeah, you have to say yes to the deal, but you... Fuck. I love you, but what the fuck are you doing? Hi. Hello. I love her very much. I'm going to kiss her now. There's nothing you can do to stop me. She is a baby. Look, she has a heart on her in orange. Right here. Nope. There. I love you. Lay down. Lay down, nerd. Stop standing weird. Just lay down. Yeah, there we go. Oh, fuck, the mouse is over there. How am I going to stop recording? Shit. Sorry, Lily. You could go right back to laying down. Before you lay down, I gotta grab all the shit that I need, okay? You're disabling my left arm fully, okay? Sasser. Fucking back talker. I'll boop you. Hi. Hello. I love my cat, sorry. I know it's being recorded. Are you looking right at the camera? Did you look right at the camera? Ah, look at this bitch. She knows she's on camera. She's just doing this for the attention. Ho. So, anyways. As they go through this Cowboys and Dragons campaign, they found the man, the one guy, who killed most of the Tabaxis. They found out that he was hired to do it. And the reason why is because someone had a vision of a Tabaxi with a black book destroying and causing the apocalypse. A Tabaxi with a black book. Why? That sounds familiar. That sounds like the player Day of Dream. A Tabaxi with a black book that lets them turn into a lich, and when they're done, they have to do a favor for the smile? Players are aware of that. I'm not spoiling anything. If they watch this, they're not going to be spoiled. They're aware of his machinations and his end plan, but they don't know why. And I'm not going to tell you either, because they might watch this, so eat shit. If you're watching this, and you're one of my players, fuck you. Here's the thing. When I'm DMing you know, a lot of players, you know, they like to view the DM as an antagonist, and I get it. Man, I get it. You know? And some DMs will come out and say, no, listen, I'm not your enemy. I'm here to work with you to make a good story. I am your enemy. Fuck you. I'll create scenarios specifically to hurt you. Emotionally. For fun. That's a thing that I've done to my players. Just to really fucking hurt them. Oh, what's that? You get attached easily to NPCs? Here's an 8-year-old girl. She's your responsibility. And there's no right answers. And she will die. And it will feel like it's your fault. And that 8-year-old girl was a boss fight. They had to kill that girl. And she was not an easy boss fight because she turned into a monster. And there's a lot more context I could tell you to make it sound like I'm less of a monster, but I like the vague version of the story that makes me sound like the devil. It's way more fun. Now, the Smile isn't even the most evil guy in that campaign. He's like A-tier evil. He's not even S-tier. And I'm not even going to go into that. I don't have time. This is probably going to warrant a part 2 at some point. Because we're at 34 fucking minutes right now. Wait. 35 fucking minutes. So, this is going to warrant a part 2. So I'll do that. Maybe not right now. But maybe right now. Because I don't want to move. Because she's being so cute. You know? She's being so cute. So I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you in part 2 when I tell you about my next 2 campaigns. The ones that will replace political intrigue. I never named the first one. Political intrigue, I guess. Yeah, that's political turmoil. Oops, all Medusas. Oh no, uh-ohs. Someone did a fucky wucky. I never named that first campaign. And the second one is named Cowboys and Dragons. And I'll tell you next time about the next 2 campaigns. Outro, I don't know how to edit. This is where good YouTubers would put like a really cool edited like thing, you know, like a really cool music and like so instead what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna like press this little button